A lot of people have moved on and stopped caring about Electronic Arts' shady actions with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I can even see that in the comment section of some of my recent videos discussing the aftermath that is coming with this controversy. Many people see EA's backtracking on the nasty progression system and microtransactions as being enough, but is it really? I mean, every single person watching will have their own set of views on this, but my personal take is EA's actions to follow are just temporary band-aids to a much larger issue. The issue being the whole concept of microtransactions and whether or not they should be in a full-price $60 game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 moving forward will be the prime example of a company trying to implement predatory microtransactions to suck each and every player's wallet a little bit more dry. But today in our latest news regarding this whole debacle, Chris Lee, the Hawaii politician fighting to ban games that feature loot boxes from being purchased by anyone under 21, has given us our latest update, and it's pretty huge. Now, a lot of the opinions I've been seeing is that people don't understand why it's important to keep this discussion going, and I'm going to insert a clip from Chris Lee who outlines the issue with people just forgetting and moving on.
But for all the pushback we've seen against pay-to-win gaming and loot boxes in Star Wars Battlefront and some of the other games that are out there, it's easy to think that this is the end of it and it's going to be done. But that's so far from the truth. The industry's already started to push back. The ESA, which is the trade group representing and paid for by a lot of these game developers, has already started to do the dirty work that individual companies don't want to be caught doing themselves, defending predatory loot boxes and making the case for that, trying to shut down a discussion that could move forward in political circles before it ever has the chance to. And that's what's happening behind the scenes right now.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the tip of the iceberg when you have so many other games incorporating monetization schemes. Holding the pressure and calling out companies that incorporate shameless cash grab features like loot boxes need to happen. Unfortunately, very little websites and YouTubers are talking about this anymore, which is exactly what the industry giants want to happen. So maybe next time you see someone complaining about my ongoing videos on this, or another YouTuber or websites, you can explain why more people need to keep this discussion alive. Change is not going to happen overnight, but if we can keep talking about this, maybe something positive can happen. Nonetheless, Chris Lee, like I said, has given us an even bigger update on his fight against microtransactions. In his latest video update, he showcased some of his discussions with lawmakers from all across the United States, with some understanding the issue and some not. It seems that a lot of lawmakers just aren't educated on video games and don't really understand the predatory nature of microtransactions, and it's clear that if change is going to happen, a wider array of people are going to have to become familiar with this. But Chris Lee did reveal a pretty significant step in fighting this, showcasing other representatives from Georgia, North Carolina, Connecticut, Washington, Minnesota, and Hawaii joining in on trying to stop any game that features microtransactions from being purchased by anyone under 21.
James Albus, a state representative from Connecticut, and I think it's about time we take a look at how children are effectively gambling with many of the games that are on today's market.
Pricey Harrison, member of the North Carolina House of Representatives. The gaming industry seems to be employing increasingly predatory techniques to take advantage of the youth that play these games. It seems that there's a role for state legislators to step in and add some regulations to protect the consumers.
Here in the Minnesota legislature, we will be working with our peers around the country to try to protect families from gambling included in video games.
It's a concern that I've heard voiced by parents. Now educators are saying that they see the patterns very clearly. Psychologists, those who study and bring expertise to this field are raising an alarming call that this be addressed.
In Washington State, we have a number of the top gaming companies in the world located in our region. We need to start this conversation, and we need to start it now.
When you think of cigarettes, liquor, and gambling games, they do not belong in children's hands. Either the companies will act or legislatures will.
All this is happening because of you guys are making a difference and reaching out. If you guys want that better future, you got to step up and make it so. This is something that is so important, but it's a battle that can be won.
Yeah, this is a battle that can be won, but this discussion needs to stay alive. But right now, Chris Lee is making progress, and now has at least 5 different states looking into ways to battle microtransactions. I think a big misconception is that by banning kids under 21 from purchasing a game with microtransactions, it won't change anything. Because it will. That essentially could change this whole gaming industry, making publishers question incorporating these features, because you'd be surprised at the millions of game sales that come from people under 21. This will make publishers rethink incorporating these features, because it will bar a significant amount of people from purchasing these manipulative anti-consumer games. Microtransactions are an industry-wide problem. EA's Ultimate Team is their biggest moneymaker, with millions buying card packs in FIFA and Madden every single year. Just a few days ago, a story blew up with a 14-year-old from Ireland who apparently emptied his mother's bank account, not knowing that he was being charged for purchasing FIFA points. Besides just this story, there are hundreds more showcasing the predatory ways that some publishers use this feature to entice players to spend more and more money at an in-game slot machine. Also, please note, this is just not an Electronic Arts problem. You have publishers like Activision, who a few years ago allowed players to buy weapons for a few dollars, but since then, with games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, have figured using loot boxes is a much better way to have players spend more money at a chance for whatever weapon. Might I add that those chances gotta be like 0.00001% for probably the weapon that these players are wanting. But you know, some people probably spend hundreds of dollars just attempting to get that weapon. Even outside of just gaming, my fellow YouTubers are part of this problem with their ridiculous loot box openings, which only contribute to this problem. What Chris Lee and other lawmakers from all over the world are doing is a step in the right direction, but the video game industry is putting up a fight, and that's why everyone who takes issue with what Battlefront 2 was originally going to be need to keep speaking about this. EA's CFO Blake Jorgensen last month even said that they wish they had incorporated a games as service model in Battlefield 4. Just imagine how that would have looked like, and his reasoning was because it's been popular. If this recent controversy just gets forgotten in a few years, we could be, well, we probably will have a round 2. Anyway guys, what do you make of the 6 states now looking to put a ban on microtransactions for anyone under 21? Let me know in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.